Well, it looks like this past week, silver was somewhat volatile due to a variety of reasons. We had Jerome Powell's rhetoric. Then we have, of course, Donald Trump continued to bash every and anybody in reference to why things aren't booming. And then in the week off, we had a market drawdown. And of course, silver and gold both didn't perform the way that they should have. And so I want to just share my 2 cents on why I believe it's still something worth paying attention to, because we are literally still in the midst of what I believe will be one of the greatest wealth cycles that we've ever witnessed. And of course, silver is at the foundation of it because it is the people's money. And so I want to share with you a couple things here that caught my attention and go through some charts and graphs and just get some overall consensus as to where the majority of people are, whether they're TA people or just your average silver enthusiasts such as myself. And of course, ultimately remind people the importance of sticking to the course that you set out. Whatever your specific strategy is, continue to stick with it, just because those that are patient as well as prudent and forward thinking will ultimately be rewarded in the end. So I want to give you this past week's activity. So just look at the silver charts on the screen here. This is what we're looking at for just 1 week. And so literally started off July, towards the end of last week, we ended at about $38.99. If I can just zoom in here so you can see what I have here. So literally July 24th, we were at 38.99. And so I remember literally talking about how basically that could be a turning point, especially if we get above 39, which we did for a brief moment. And then once we get beyond 40, the sky's the limit. But unfortunately, as we can see here, Friday of last week, literally it got down to $38.17, as we can see on the map, on the graph here, $38.17. And then from there, throughout this past week, as we can see here, literally we went from 38 down to 38.08. Then we got back up to 30.15. Then we broke 37, and then we literally finished off the week at $37.03. And so here we are today, above $37 or so. And so automatically, a lot of people are like, "Man, what's going on? How's this happening with all this stuff going on? Prices should be a lot higher, yada yada yada." But yet, you got to realize the controlling forces that have been at work for decades now, century plus, at trying to get us to the point where people don't look at gold and silver as a true monetary hedge, because it is a commodity as well as industrial metal. But then again, silver literally is needed for everything, and it is the best form of what I would consider to be just practical wealth preservation, just because to buy an ounce at the bare minimum of anything with the premium on top, based upon current trajectory of where things are heading, you're going to make up that spot and the premium within no time as far as protecting whatever it is that you put into it. So it's good to say you will not lose it the way you would or could other things that are somewhat risky or speculative. So silver in of itself is just something to, I believe, to have set aside. Don't worry about it. But then again, for those who love to speculate as well as to play in certain aspects of the market, whether it be in the papers game or anything like that, then of course you run the risk of gambling in a sense. But point of case is, as of this current moment, I want to just look at what's happening via the Telegram. And so X is a good way to get a pulse as to what people are saying and what sentiment is, just because I came across several people who shared their thoughts and were somewhat concerned. And so on the screen here, we have, as of right now of me speaking, look like $37.01. And that is as of yesterday, market close-ish. And so just to go through some other thoughts and analysis here, I'll just zoom in quick just to give you a quick update for those who enjoy some analysis and thoughts and opinions on the weekend. And so here we have from Psychos Fans, silver found support around 10-week moving average and is probably ready to resume the rally. The next 22-week cycle high is due in the last week of August, so I still expect it to exceed the July high. How high it go remains to be unseen. And so once again, this is just some TA work here. And then to keep it moving here, we have silver. Someone says, "You were ultra bullish just 4 days ago. Can't handle a little retrace? What changed?" Absolutely nothing. And then we go on here. It says, "Silver is clearly ready for a big move. RSI slightly in overbought territory. And on the quarterly charts, this is where the fun chart starts and the gains are made. Miners should go full gas." And that's something I haven't talked about much, which is ultimately the miners. And so miners are the actual companies, publicly traded companies that bring the silver above ground. And we all know that the key players, such as the Keith Newmeyers at Majestic Silver, all those individuals there are talking extremely favorable as to where silver should be if it wasn't so suppressed or manipulated by the bullion banks and all the people in the paper futures industry. And so it's just a matter of time. But then again, miners, that's another thing I haven't touched on much. That could be ultimate plays in I'm trying to come up with the word in the works with, or in complementary fashion of actually holding the physical silver itself. And so let's just go through a couple other things here, just some more thoughts. And so we got silver needs to break 37.40, and this was as of yesterday. And then last year, I'll just end it with this. It says, silver, your quarterly reminder. And so this is just a way of using these graphs here. So it says, we are here. This was back in 1980, referring to on this side here. And then it says here, we are here, referring to the current price activity at around $37 or $36 here. But based upon previous activity, previous highs, they're, according to this chart here, predicting if silver returns back up to where this purple line is at, we could see something around the price of, if I move over here, it looks like at this purple here, we're looking at, it looks like $350 or $250. Let me go back here. So literally, if we reach this point here, based upon previous chart activity, going from $36 or $37 to about $250 plus, if previous performance is anything to use as an indicator of future price action. So that, my friends, is also something to keep in mind, that we know the price suppression is real. It's obvious, given that we're in a world of uncertainty as well as turbulence in a variety of sectors, and gold has shot past previous highs, setting new highs somewhat monthly, and silver has not yet reached 50. So you have to ask yourself a question: why is that the case? And clearly, anybody with a rational thinking mind that believes that it's ultimately the system against the people, which is what we've always witnessed, then you should realize that the game is rigged against us, and they don't want people to run to silver, and especially gold. And so while governments, central banks are all running towards gold, hence the price activity, silver is moving slowly but surely, but it's trending upward. Keep that in mind. And here we have Eric Sprott, a billionaire investor who is very pro gold and silver and has done extremely well over the last several decades. And this is just his analysis when it comes to silver. And I'll play this and let you guys hear it for yourself.
I think silver's been manipulated for at least 50 years. Same thing. And now we've got these, we got shorts on the COMEX for 850 million ounces now. It's almost obscene that someone would think that was a smart bet when you look at all the data about the demand for silver for the various industries. And one of them that's really come to light, I saw a presentation by a gentleman from McKinsey, and he's looking at the developments in the car market in China, where they're suggesting they can get an electric vehicle that can go 1,000 kilometers, and when you refill a battery, it takes 5 minutes. Well, voila, that's going to solve the concerns we had a year ago about electric vehicles, which there were many concerns about it. But I think the outlook for all the metals that have anything to do with the batteries in cars and storage batteries, storage batteries. Sorry?
Solar.
Yes. Oh, well, solar, yeah.
The panels work like 40 or 50% better with silver instead of copper or something.
Of course,
it's insane.
It's massive. We got a $200 million shortfall roughly every year for the last 4 years. I'm going to have another one this year. Where's this stuff coming from, folks?
And there you have it. Where is this stuff coming from? The shortfall is massive. It's only getting wider because there's not enough silver to meet demand. So therefore, if it's not enough silver above ground, something has to give. And ultimately, it's going to be the price. So once again, just taking a minute, sharing my thoughts on this. And as always, stick to your silver strategy, whatever it might be. And on my end here, what encourages me and excites me the most is the fact that my silver strategy has always been in play, always will be, because it's something that is somewhat automated in a sense. And that boils down to the silver team. And so once again, for those who have not heard about it, here's the time to find out more about the silver team. And so the silver team literally is a group of individuals that believe in silver so much that they're willing to go full steam ahead, and that means the dollar cost average and in a monthly automated systematic format. And of course, that comes through on the screen here. Quicksilver program. It is literally a simple and extremely viable automated silver and sometime gold program here. So Quicksilver Wealth Accelerator program, a great way for people to get involved in silver directly. So here, just go to MySilverTeam.com, links in the description, and it takes you to this page here, give you more information as to how to get involved, what to do, and also you get a chance to see some visuals, just some of the happy customers that don't mind sharing their collection of them dollar cost and averaging into silver on a monthly basis, where you can do 1 ounce, actually a gram, or more than that. So once again, these are just some of the collections here that people are willing to share because they're happy customers of the program. And so once again, these are just ways to get your weight up, automatically shipped to you. So it's definitely worth finding out for those who want to just systematize their process and get their weight up. And so I was actually going through one of my stashes here and just seeing how, once you get your weight up here, it's just something to look at and just, be proud of that you are, dollar cost averaging in at an affordable rate over time, to where when the silver price dips, you're not really concerned because you're buying whether it's high or low. So once again, just taking a minute, share my 2 cents on it. As always, taking a minute. Curious to hear what you think. If you found value, hit thumbs up, drop a comment. I'll catch you guys later.